Well, welcome back, I guess, to the series that you guys apparently like. We did the GameCube already, and it did very, very well. Outperformed our hunting videos, our hunting series, and we're like, well, we got to keep this train rolling. Apparently people like us just talking about random games we'll walk into our game room and play in 2022. So today is all about the PS2.
PlayStation 2, one of my favorite consoles ever. Grew up playing the PS2 all the time.
Greatest selling video game console of all time, I think. The first game on our list, it's a weird one because for me personally, I associate this game with the GameCube, but we couldn't put it in the GameCube video because Robert said, nah, son.
I'm not even a big fan of Pierce Brosnan as a Bond. My guy is Sean Connery. But 007 Nightfire.
Now, for me, 007 games, I'd probably put this like third in line because I was way into them on N64. But I will say, from the Gen 6 era, this is the coup d'etat. This is the gabagool. It's really fun. I like playing it when Robert's not around. He's so good at it that it's not even fun to play. Like, he knows all the spots to hide in the map. He knows how to get, like, the Stinger missiles.
I think the word he was looking for was Sentinel. And yes, I know where it is on every map, and I will kill you with it.
When we fire up the PS2, it's not going to be too long before Robert's like, hey, you want to play around at Nightfire? And I'm like, I really don't.
The single-player mode is fantastic. The multiplayer mode is fantastic. The guns, the gadgets, the maps, the characters. Nightfire is a perfect game. I know it's available on a bunch of different consoles, but my nostalgia for Nightfire is on the PS2.
Alright, so after hearing my diatribe on Nightfire, the roles kind of reverse here, I feel like, until late, because I feel like he's really picking up on this game. But one of the most underrated first-person multiplayer shooters. Now that's really important to understand. This game, multiplayer, is where it's at. Single player is cool too, but this game at one point in my life I put on a pedestal, like arguing with kids in college. It was better than Halo. And that's Red Faction 2.
Destructible environments, awesome guns, awesome characters.
And this game just does not get talked about enough. It doesn't. It's frustrating because I've heard major YouTubers that I respect kind of crap on this game. And I'm like, bro, you've only played the single player game. You have no idea what's in store for you on the multiplayer side of Red Faction 2.
And this is another like first-person shooter that I'm getting pretty damn good at. Like, you gotta figure out where the guns spawn, and like once you do that, you are OP. This game is just so awesome. Pick up and play.
Can't say enough good things about it. Literally my favorite first-person shooter of all time.
MLB The Show 08. I don't think I've ever played this, so why is it on the list? I don't know. Probably because Wes plays it all the time, and every time I walk into the game room, he's like, let me just finish this inning real quick. So we had to put it on the list.
Why 08, you ask? I don't know. That's just the one I started playing, and I started the franchise, and it's been going for years and years and years and years and years, and you're like, well, how could you play it that long? Because I play every game. I play the games in my minor leagues. I do all the recruiting. I set up the concession stands. This game is, it's perfect. And I have a little bit of experience with the MLB 08 The Show games on PS3, but like by the time I got to PS4, I was like, what am I doing? I have a franchise in MLB 08 The Show that I love. I need no more.
It looks pretty cool. But I'd have to argue and say MVP 05 is the better baseball game on the PS2. But that's just a personal thing.
I will probably have this franchise with the Milwaukee Brewers until I die. Unless it stops me at like 30 years or something. And it might. Love this game. If you had a PS2 and MLB 08 The Show, that's all you need.
Now, this game is, for me, on the list. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. I think it's the best Tony Hawk game in the series. The remake's really good. The remake of 1 and 2 is really good, but this game is like the perfection of 1 and 2 done in 3. The music's great. The skaters are great.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, though, is one that Robert wants to play a lot. So when we go into the game room, he's like, dude, let's fire this up. It's a weird thing in 2022 that this is like a new game to me. Like, yeah. I haven't really dabbled.
This is a game that I have like in my PS2 at home, always loaded, going for 100% with like all the characters. It's just so much fun.
So if you remember what I said about MLB 08 The Show, a lot of this applies to Tiger Woods 2006. Don't know why that's our Tiger. I can't tell you that 06 is better than 05, then 01, 02, 03, 04, 07, 08, 09, 10. Can't tell you that. But 06 does so many things right that I never was perplexed or had the urge to seek out something different.
This game is a blast. 18 holes with a group of buddies, 4 players, multi-tap. And you know every time we play, I gotta play as my favorite South African, Godsend. I know his name is Goosen or whatever, but he's a godsend. He was sent to me from God.
This game is one that we fire up. We'll randomly live stream it. It's not clickable. Nobody's watching people stream Tiger Woods, but we don't care. And John Daly's in it. And I'm a younger version of John Daly.
Something about the Tiger Woods games are just a blast. Pick up and play. Kind of pick up and play because you put in 18 holes, it's 2 hours, but they're so much fun, dude. We play this game like once a month. So much fun.
Next one is kind of a hidden gem that we found recently, which is probably why we play it a lot when we end up in the game room.
The Red Star. This is a new game to me probably 2 years ago.
If you like twin stick shooters, if you like Contra, if you like shmups, I think all that kind of comes together in this weird roux of a game.
I've never really played anything like the Red Star, and I was so excited when we discovered it.
The Red Star is one that we fire up all the time, which is weird because we have other things that could scratch that itch, but we've just played them so much that we don't really go back to them as much. But Red Star is a staple right now for us on the PS2 in 2022, which is what this is all about. This is not a best of, this is not a top 10. It's what we are playing in 2022.
Let's talk wrestling. Smackdown versus Raw, 06, 07. I lean towards 06, but I don't have a preference. They're both great.
And we've been doing, if you guys have been following the channel, like our Royal Rumbles, WrestleMania episodes, etc., have been hovered around these games. And I think 06 is the best in the Smackdown versus Raw series because 07, although better unlockables, I feel like, and an amazing game in its own right, 07 took the grapple controls and everything to the joysticks, and that's where wrestling games lost me.
The rosters are pretty good. You got old school, new school. It's just so much fun. I love, like, you can go backstage, you can do all this stuff. The campaign is actually pretty fun. We did that a while ago, went through it taking turns.
Right here, I'm just gonna say Smackdown versus Raw, original 06, 07. We play those a lot. Another cop out here, Time Crisis. I mean, I think we normally probably, if we're gonna just throw one on, do 2, but 3 is hammer too.
PS2 has such an amazing way to play like gun games with the GunCon 2. It literally feels like you're at the arcade. Graphics are amazing. The gun is calibrated perfectly every time. Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 3, Time Crisis, Crisis Zone. All amazing like gun games. I think I lean towards Time Crisis 2 just because of nostalgia and arcades.
Honestly, I think when we play our PS2 in 2022, it's either golf or light gun games.
And man, I can't say enough good things about the GunCon 2. It is literally the perfect light gun for at-home play. It is just plug in, bam, dead accuracy 100% of the time. It is incredible.
Gradius 5's on PS2, and it's probably the best Gradius game. But our favorite shooter on the PS2 is R-Type Final. I can't explain why.
Shmups are supposed to be fast-paced and like chaos, and like this game is slow. This game is like final. This game, like, you're like barely moving.
It almost feels like you're dying. It almost feels like the end of an era. The pacing, the music, the game is just a slog.
But it's still kind of chaotic, and it's still kind of like bullets everywhere.
Ever since we picked this game up, we've been obsessed with it. It's a hammer, and for me, it's my favorite shooter on the PS2. I just love it.
I think if you're a fan of shmups or shooters, you need to play this game just because of the slowness of it, but also not. It's such a unique shooter that's so good.
So this next one would be super easy, right? We're huge fans of God of War, huge fans of Ratchet and Clank, but it's an element in 2022. We've been there, done that. Played the God of War games so much. God of War 1 and 2, game changers.
There's been games that have been in our comment section for a while. I didn't play when I was younger. We've slowly been getting into them because people are like, you guys have to play these, you guys have to play these. Sly Cooper. Man, these games, I don't know how I missed these when I was younger. These games are amazing.
I just love the animation style. I think Robert appreciates the collectathon element, of that, and the variety of gameplay.
I'm glad that they're kind of new discoveries to me in 2022 for the PS2 that is 21 or 2 years old. That's pretty insane. But Sly Cooper, man, amazing games.
I just missed the boat on Sly Cooper, so I'm really appreciating the fact that over the last year or two, we've recognized we missed something, and we have to, go back and walk the path that we didn't walk when we were little kittens.
Guys, I could freaking talk PS2 for days. I think it is my favorite console.
Good times, PS2 talk. What are you playing on your PS2? We'd love to know. Drop it in the mother effing comments below. Yeah, because we're always looking for new PS2 games that we should check out.
I didn't mention Guitar Hero. I'm a huge fan of that. There's so many games that I didn't even mention or think of because I'm not playing it right now, but I loved when I was younger or played like a couple years ago. But
This is what we are playing right now.
guys, Gen 6. I think next up, original Xbox. Stay tuned.